I once named every cabinet job from memory at a party. So yeah, I was cool. Quick, name President Donald Trump's transportation secretary. Anyone? Anyone? Chances are you can't. It's Elaine Chao, who also happens to be married to Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell and has been Donald Trump's transportation secretary the entire term. But anyway, what it says is something about the profile of the average transportation secretary. It's low. Which raises this question. Why would Pete Buttigieg, who came from nowhere to become a top-tier candidate in the 2020 presidential race, agree to be the transportation secretary in the now-forming administration of President-elect Joe Biden? Isn't that, well, a little small for someone of Buttigieg's political ambitions and talents? Look, I get that point. No ambitious political little kid dreams of growing up to be the transportation secretary. After all, they don't. But Buttigieg is a smart dude, Rhodes Scholar. And he's playing chess, not checkers here. Kind of like Borgov. Queen's Gambit reference. Huh? All right, consider the following points. Point number 1. The highest office that Buttigieg has ever held is as the mayor of his hometown of South Bend, Indiana. Population 101,000. He's never worked in Washington. He's never managed or navigated not only a massive agency, but the even more massive federal bureaucracy. Assuming he's confirmed, Buttigieg would be in charge of a department with 55,000 employees. And that's an experience he can't get anywhere other than a presidential cabinet. And it's experience that will allow him, eventually, to say something like, quote, I know what it's like to work the levers of Washington to get things done for average Americans, for example. Point number 2. Joe Biden has made rebuilding America's infrastructure a key goal not only of his presidency, but since the start of his presidential campaign, which is a contrast to the Trump administration, where Infrastructure Week became a running punchline since the president never actually did anything to rebuild the country's infrastructure. So in Biden's acceptance speech at the Democratic National Convention, he made specific mention of just the sort of initiatives that will be under the purview of a Transportation Secretary Buttigieg. Here's the key bit.
That's why my economic plan is all about jobs, dignity, respect, and community. Together we can and will rebuild our economy. And when we do, we'll not only build back, we'll build back better. With modern roads, bridges, highways, broadband, ports, and airports as a new foundation for economic growth.
So that focus, assuming Biden obviously makes good on it, puts Buttigieg on the front lines of an effort to rebuild the crumbling infrastructure of America, something that lots of presidents, Democrats and Republicans, have talked about but never gotten around to actually doing. Point number 3. The proposed Biden cabinet doesn't have a lot of proven and effective TV communicators. So whether you love Buttigieg or hate him, or don't care, it's hard to argue with the fact that he is very good on TV. And any successful administration has to have people who can go on cable and Sunday talk shows to sell its various priorities, which puts Buttigieg in prime position to be one of the best known public faces of this administration, no matter what his official job title is. Point number 4, and I say this affectionately, Buttigieg is a nerd. Yeah, there's no question that there are political calculations that go into why he would accept the transportation secretary job. See points 1, 2, and 3. I literally just made. But there's also a wonky side to Mayor Pete that loves the idea of fixing railroad tracks and bridges. I don't know how to do those things. Buttigieg, remember, used to talk about South Bend's smart sewer program on the stump during the presidential campaign. I'm sure Iowans and New Hampshireites were very interested. Quote, at core, he's a deeply wonky guy whose favorite board games include Ticket to Ride and Risk, tweeted Midwestern-based journalist Adam Wren of Buttigieg. Sidebar, I have lost not 1, not 2, but 3 straight games of Ticket to Ride to my 11-year-old son. That kid can build a train route from Seattle to Miami like no one's business. Add it up, Violent Femmes. You get this. The transportation secretary's job actually makes a lot of sense for Buttigieg. It gives him a national platform. It allows him to build up management experience at the federal level. And it allows him to remain front and center with Democratic leaders, donors, and activists, all of whom he will need if, actually make that when, he runs for president again. And that is the point. We make new Point episodes every Tuesday and Thursday. Be sure to check them all out.